Hello and welcome to PalaceFanTV for our Watford FA Cup semi-final preview video. It's the big one, folks. And joining me to chat through it is a man who's made multiple appearances on our channel, the Watford fan from the Rookery End. It's Mike Parkin.
Well done. So it was a tricky one.
I'm getting good at it though, aren't I?
Absolutely well done.
How are you?
Good, thank you, Jim. Nervous.
Are you feeling nervous?
Oh, 100%. It's horrible.
Yeah. It is horrible, isn't
You
it?
should be enjoying these moments, but it's ghastly.
Are we nervous because both teams could win it?
Definitely. Yeah, we were talking about this to my brother and all fellow sort of Watford supporting colleagues, and this is the 5th FA Cup semi-final I've been to with Watford.
Wow, okay.
And, or is it the 4th? Anyway, either or.
Yeah.
5th major semi-final, including a Carling Cup. And this is the first one where it feels like we're going in on a par. Because either we've been a Championship team playing a Premier League team, or we've been a Premier League team playing a much better Premier League team. So yeah, it feels like the first one where it's winnable, and I know that'll be exactly the same.
Would you, if for Palace, I think we prefer to be underdogs, and I think for this the bookies have made us ever so slight favourites.
There's nothing in it.
There's nothing in it. But would Watford fans prefer to be sort of massive underdogs going into it?
Of course, yeah. It makes you feel a little bit better because you feel like you've got nothing to lose. You can kid yourself that
exactly.
It doesn't matter because we lost to a bigger team. But there's nothing in this one at all, is there? So yeah, well, you prefer it to, in a way, you would have preferred Man United, perhaps even Everton, because although they're having a shocking run of form, they're still a bigger team. But yes, it's going to be the tightest one of the two semi-finals, you'd have thought.
Now Watford played in midweek, as did Palace. We both lost, and the Watford put out a severely second-string team.
Yeah.
Did Watford do the same?
We made a lot of changes, yeah, and probably had a bit of a hint as to who is going to start in goal on Sunday, which has been the big debate amongst Watford fans.
Big debate amongst Palace fans, similar actually.
Oh, okay, yeah, because Speroni played, didn't he, at Old Trafford, and played quite well from my account.
He did, yeah.
But Gomez played on Wednesday night, which would indicate that I think Pantilimon will start on Sunday. Kike's been true to his word. He's going to be true to his word and stick with the cup specialist.
Okay.
But yeah, we made a few changes, which is sensible. You don't want to pick up injuries, and you don't want to pick up suspensions. But
you did, didn't you?
Yeah, one of our newer signings, Nordin Amrabat, who's been pretty good. He can play as a striker or a winger, and he played as the lone striker. Actually, both Igalo wasn't in the squad at all for Wednesday, and Daly started on the bench. So Amrabat was our attacking sort of point, and he managed to get 2 yellow cards and got sent off, and it was right in the last minute.
The worst game you want to do that in. The last game you want to do that in.
Just the mind boggles. It was almost the last kick of the game. I think it was just after we'd missed a penalty, so it was a really good last minute to go into the biggest game of the season with it. Really, so we all go in really high on confidence, having missed a penalty and been down to 10 men.
So I came on your podcast earlier in the week, and you interrogated me to find out how can Watford beat Palace. So I'm not going to interrogate you because that's not my style. I would be terrible at it. But where can Palace try and beat Watford then on Sunday?
I think probably defensively is the big issue. That's the thing that Watford fans are certainly worried about is Balassi and Wilf, and perhaps the creativity of Cabaye if he gets going. You'd have thought that the Wembley arena is going to be something that suits these big game players.
Yeah.
That's certainly what we're hoping from our guys. They're going to up their game a little bit. We've both had pretty poor 2016s. Really,
that's being generous to Palace. But
you think that all that goes out the window on a day like this, and you think that everyone's going to be performing to the top of their ability. So we expect Palace to come at Watford and utilise those wing threats as much as possible. And I think Neon, when we came on before the game at Watford, right at the start of the season when you won 1-0, I said Neon at right back was actually a player to watch out for. Because he made a really good start of the season going forward and defensively. But since then he's gone off the ball a little bit. And I think he's got the potential to be the weak link down that
will he play?
Right hand side. He will start, I think. There's a debate whether it's going to be Juan Carlos Paredes, who's an Ecuadorian international, or Alan Neom, and I think Neom will probably get the nod.
So if Palace start sort of on the front foot and go for it first 20 minutes or so, do you think that's a good way of getting a hold of the game?
It's funny you say that. I think some of Watford's best performances have been where they've had to build their way into their game. I think one of my favourite performances of the year was away at Stoke. We won, which I think
Palace we did as well. Yeah. Not many teams have done.
Go us.
Yeah.
And we looked really at sea for the first 20 minutes. We looked like a Championship side playing a Premier League side. But what we did, we battled and we really came into it, and sort of like someone overlapping someone in a race. You know what I mean? We overtook them, and then we took complete control of the game. So we've often started quite slowly, but it's not necessarily been the worst possible thing. We've sort of absorbed a bit of pressure, and then got a foothold. So I think it's more just the speed, the pace, and the trickery that's gonna. It only takes a minute, as we know from the playoff final.
What were you going to say, as we know from that famous Take That song?
Oh, well, of course, yeah.
Obviously.
Any chance to reference Take That, Jim, obviously. But yeah, as we know from the game at Wembley and the game at Vicarage Road earlier this season, it all hinged on one moment.
Yeah.
And that's all it takes. And I think it's going to be very, very similar this time round.
So obviously a lot of Palace fans are assuming that revenge will take place because obviously we beat you in the playoff final. So obviously now we're back at Wembley 3 years later. Watford are going to win no matter what happens because that's how football works.
Obviously.
So do Watford fans think the same thing, that maybe it's their turn, like fate might be in their hands?
No. I don't think so. I think people are just expecting a mirror image of last time.
Oh, really?
Football fans are pessimists. There's two definite sort of groups of football fans, aren't there? There's pessimists and the hopeless optimists.
Yeah.
95% are pessimists and 5% are optimists. So 95% of us think that it's exactly the same is going to happen again. Zaha's going to go for a penalty in the 95th minute of injury time, and we'll lose 1-0.
So if you're a betting man, you'd bet on Zaha winning a penalty at some point.
I don't. I say Zaha because he's obviously been the one that's won the last two penalties. I don't mean that, but I just think it's going to be incredibly close. I don't think you'll find a Watford fan on earth that will put their hand on the heart and say they expect to win.
Yeah, I don't think you'll find a Palace fan the same. I think we all think it's going to be very tight. So where can Watford break Palace down or hurt Palace?
I think we're going to just have to hope for big games from the likes of Igalo and Daly. Igalo's had a tough 2016. It was always going to be difficult after the year he had last year, where virtually everything he touched ended up in the back of the net. So it was always going to be a bit of a come down from that, and hopefully he can refine a bit of his vim and vigour. He's looked a little bit, not disinterested, that's not fair, but he hasn't been as sharp as he has. I think we're going to get a big performance from Troy Deeney. There was an interesting article in the Daily Mail about Troy talking about the playoff final and how it passed him by a little bit, and I think that went for a lot of the Watford players, as Palace fans will attest. It wasn't a great performance at all from Watford, and it was interesting to hear him come out and admit that it felt like when they walked out, it was, this is the sort of thing you usually see on TV, and 20 minutes through he was still sort of feeling like he was playing at Wembley. Which surprised me a little bit, but I think you're not going to get that this time round. Quique Sanchez-Flores as a manager is meticulous in his preparation, and we've got someone who's very vocal like Troy in the dressing room, and will be making damn sure that people play the game and not the occasion. So I'm expecting big performances from the guys up front. Capoue is another one who probably most people dismiss as a poor signing for Tottenham, but he started like an absolute trainer at Watford. He's very rangy, long limbs. He's actually incredibly skillful, and he had a real good first half of the season. But again,
he plays centre mid, does he?
He has, but Kike's put him out onto the left a little bit, where he hasn't been quite so effective. But I think we can expect to see him back in the centre, and looking to really raise his game and pull the strings from there.
So one quick question though that I've always wanted to ask a Watford fan, never have: are Watford a London club?
Of course they're not.
They're not. Okay.
People
are confused by it.
Well, we're on the Metropolitan line, so we're on the London Underground.
Yeah.
But
whereas technically Palace, London club, not on the tube map.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so no, definitely not. We're Hertfordshire and proud.
Yeah.
I think we benefit from the proximity to London in terms of the sort of players we can attract and and that sort of thing. It's the training grounds right next to Arsenal, so we get the benefits, if you like, of having the same to offer as London. But yeah, no, definitely.
So people are saying it's an all London semi-final. It's not.
Of course not. No.
Okay, right. But what's your prediction then for Sunday? How do you think it's
Jim.
going to go? I'm sorry.
If I think about this game too much, I literally stop breathing.
I know the feeling.
It's just awful. It's just the thought of being. I mean, you guys have been in the FA Cup final.
When was it? Once before, 26 years ago. Yeah, 1990.
Okay, right. I remember it.
Yeah.
So it's 84 for us early in the cup final. Just to think that we might get to an FA Cup final is almost too. I don't know. Just the horror of thinking about it there. Yeah. What's the prediction going to be? Right, I'm going to say I think Palace are going to win.
Oh, okay.
Can I just do? I can't imagine us winning the game. I think it's going to be very close. I think it's either going to be 2-1 or 1-0. So I'm going to go 1-0 Palace.
I sort of agree. But if I say it out loud,
that's fine. I won't ask you to.
Then it won't happen.
Well, it's implied that you think Palace are going to win, which works for me.
It's implied. Right, Mike. Thanks very much for joining me.
You're more than welcome.
Yeah, and enjoy Sunday, I guess. I don't know.
Enjoy before and I'll enjoy after.
Yeah, exactly. Good man. Right, well, you can check out From The Rookery End for lots of Watford chats. Fantastic. Check it out. And don't forget to subscribe to PalaceFanTV. If you haven't subscribed yet, it's April. Come on, click that button and subscribe. Comment below with your thoughts on the game. What is your prediction? Are Palace going to do it and get to Wembley again for the second time? Well, it is Wembley again. But get to the final. Comment below with your prediction, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Snapchat. We'll be snapping from Wembley on Sunday. That's it. Thanks for joining. See you again soon. Come on, you Palace.